We are celebrating the best stories of 2024, including a medical lake couple who lost everything in the wildfire, discovered they had elves for neighbors. We'll show you what a few strangers did to bring back the Christmas spirit.
And new hope for local babies born addicted to drugs. How one local program is intervening in a way that could be life-changing.
A close friend to two college women killed near the University of Idaho in Moscow is vowing to uphold a promise in their memory. We'll show you how the Made with Kindness Foundation will leave a lasting legacy for future students.
From 4 News Now, this is a look back at 2024.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Robin Nance.
And I'm Natalie Grant. We're taking a look back at some of the most impactful stories that our team here at 4 News Now has covered in this past year. And we'll start by getting into the Christmas spirit.
It just touched me so much that people I don't know care so much about this.
A family who lost everything in the Gray Fire has something to be thankful for, thanks to a kind neighbor who did something very unexpected for them.
Every Christmas, Kathy Bogolowski is known for her Snow Family display, but it was lost in the Gray Fire, and Kathy never thought she'd be able to create it again until now.
Our Hunter Bertram shows us the heartwarming gift this family received.
When driving through this neighborhood during the holidays, there's always been a house you have to stop by and check out. The Bogolowskis, decorated with these friendly faces that Miss Bogolowski has been collecting for decades.
I had a Snow Family that I started probably about 35 years ago, and they were in the shed that burnt down during the Gray Fire.
In August of 2023, Kathy and Mike Bogolowski's lives were turned upside down when the destructive Gray Fire swept through Medical Lake, leaving nothing but ashes where their home once stood.
We lost everything. All we had was the clothes we had on our back, our cat, and our medicines. That was it.
So, I mean, really, in your mindset, probably you haven't even necessarily thought of this Snow Family.
No, the Snow Family was not in my mind.
Which was true, until Kathy tells me her neighbor came over while she was picking up what was left and said
that she was going to miss my Snow Family. And
Kathy thought that was the end of her Snow Family, until in August, a year after her Snow Family turned to rubble, a neighbor left a surprise box and this note on Kathy's door. Welcome back home. Looking forward to seeing snowmen on your porch.
Boxes of some snow collectibles and a note. And I just started crying. It was like
a new Snow Family from a neighbor she barely knows that took the time to gather these from the neighborhood for her display.
My original Snow Family will always be very special to me. It was started by my son many years ago. But this will... When I look at this, my heart is touched. My heart is just...
Such a special story.
Sweet.
Well, this summer, the night skies lit up with some beautiful hues of green, purple, red, and blue in a spectacular display of northern lights. We started seeing more geometric storms back in May.
Yeah, and we were lucky to see the Aurora Borealis several times over the summer. Marissa Rio explains why the sky lit up so much this year.
An absolute anomaly. As people drove away from the city lights, they were treated with beams of pink, green, and blue lights in the night sky, as if we were getting a glimpse of another universe. But what is exactly happening in the sky?
It's due to solar activity, and when we get big events like the one we had last night, it's what's called solar coronal mass ejections.
In simpler terms, what you are seeing here is a large amount of solar energy being released from the sun. It's a solar storm that's only visible in the night.
There have been some power grid irregularities that have occurred. There has been some disruptions to GPS. So there have been already some impacts from this extreme event that we had last night.
And as for tonight, Jeremy Wolf says the best time to go out and catch these lights is around 9:30, 10 o'clock. It is possible that the show will last throughout the night. A local photographer took these photos last night out in Rockland. While he says he's captured this beauty before, it never ceases to amaze him. He has some tips for others trying to photograph the show tonight. The first being to get away from the city lights and adjust your shutter speed to about 5 seconds.
It's really important to get your focus right, get those stars in really pinpoints, and just work on your composition, whether it's something in the foreground that is interesting, or make it be as creative as you can.
A big change is coming to Spokane's Loof Carousel, and you won't be able to see it. The carousel's band organ hasn't worked in decades, but that's expected to change soon. Hunter Bertram shows us the project modernizing the historic organ.
This century-old carousel and staple of Spokane is set to get a new tune in the near future, as its restoration of its band organ is nearing completion.
All of the little moving parts are all going to come together, and they're just going to play some wonderful music.
For almost 10 years, Nathan Miller has been behind the controls of the carousel, and he has never heard the organ play, not even when he was a child riding one of the iconic horses.
Right now, we just kind of play music off of a CD track that kind of just loops over and over. It goes through our PA system. So it'll be kind of interesting to hear music coming through the center of the carousel.
One of the people working to restore the organ is local Spokane carousel expert Betty Largent.
With the technology of computers, we can operate it, and you can request a song. We can even pick songs.
The band organ currently plays off of a paper roll that reads holes in the paper to play the notes. It will soon be converted to operate off of a MIDI file, which acts like a CD player that plugs into the band organ to make it play.
I hope that we can play our band organ by spring.
In Spokane, Hunter Bertram, 4 News Now.
Well, here is a look at making spirits bright. Of course, lighting up Cowley Park outside of Sacred Heart Children's Hospital. The idea is to brighten the spirits of kids and families who have to stay in the hospital this time of year. It's also our gift to the community. For 8 years now, Mark Peterson and the Extreme team have been lighting up the park. The lights are free to drive by or take a walk through. And of course, Christmas music is playing there all day long. They'll be up through the new year or whenever Mark decides to take them down.
Oh, so great.
So fun. Well, still ahead on this special edition of 4 News Now, a story about a local football coach who is inspiring a new generation through his strength, grit, and determination, all while fighting cancer.
People with sensory issues experience challenges when trying to do some fun activities. We'll show you a new program in Spokane that helps make local pools accessible and enjoyable for everyone.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. The winning is just the beginning. So you're looking for something to do? We got you. Want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you wanna do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping at the Go to Lake Casino. At the Go to Lake Casino. Go to Lake Casino. The winning is just the beginning.
It's that time of year again to get the Honda of your dreams during Happy Honda Days, where you'll find great offers on a rugged new Passport, Pilot with available all-wheel drive, and the powerful Ridgeline. So don't wait. Turn your holiday dreams into reality with a new Honda named KBB.com's best value brand. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
One of our favorite things at 4 News Now is Friday Night Sports Extra, our special coverage of high school football.
One of the best parts is, of course, seeing the energy from all the fans in the student sections. At one of those games we covered this fall, we noticed something a little different in the stands. At the Mount Spokane versus Ridgeline game, signs like these lined the stadium, saying Gardner strong. We learned that football coach Brian Gardner has been in a fight with cancer since January of last year, since making it public. The school and our community did what they do so well, of course, built a powerful wave of support behind Coach. Jordan Smith has this inspiring story.
Well, the thing about sports is it's always so much more than just a game. And nobody knows that quite like the Mount Spokane Wildcats, who have rallied behind their guy, Coach Brian Gardner, doing whatever they can to help give him a leg up in his battle with cancer.
If you've spent some time around football in Eastern Washington, the chances are you know about Brian Gardner.
So he's locked in on his receiver, and you can see the pressure. Gardner comes in from the backside.
He's faced many battles on the gridiron, but none more important than the one he's facing off the field.
January 24th, I was diagnosed with colorectal cancer, stage 3. And then they found a spot in my lung, so I went to stage 4. First thing I thought was my kids. I have 4 children.
The news also came as a shock to his former teammate at Eastern Washington and his best friend, head coach Terry Clower.
I tried to, talk to the team several times about it and, just to tell them what he's going through, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk in front of the team about it. I would just break down.
Gardner lost more than 60 pounds during treatment. Despite it all, he's still walking the sideline this season.
Some days are better than others, but, he's been out there every single day. He hasn't missed a day of practice.
And that kind of motivated us, too, like, well, shoot, if he's doing this, we can push, too,
The slogan, Gardner Strong, was born. The team banded together, creating wristbands, organizing fundraisers, and collecting as much support as they could.
Actually, right now, we have a blood drive going on at the school. If we get enough people to do the blood drive, they're going to donate to Gardner Strong.
That support, overwhelming for the man who spent his life serving the community, both as a teacher and as a coach.
You're like, man, do I deserve this? This is just incredible. And, with a lot of bad going on around in this world, it just shows how amazing people are.
And after starting the season 0-4, Mount Spokane, they have stormed back. Winners of their last 5 games, they earned a berth to the postseason. But regardless of what happens in the playoffs, both the coaches and the players tell me that this team has formed a bond that will stay with them for life. For 4 News Now, I'm Jordan Smith.
Incredible lessons learned through that coach.
Absolutely.
If you have kids with special needs, going to a public pool can be overwhelming. A new sensory-friendly swim program is making this experience accessible and enjoyable for everyone.
Alexander Cohen-Yarts went to the program's kickoff day this summer.
2 things that might look a little bit different that you wouldn't typically see on a hot summer day at the pool is how much less crowded it is, as well as the lack of whistles. Both have been put in place to make this as calm of an environment as possible for kids and adults with sensory issues.
Just to watch her smile and have a great time. I mean, that's all we can ask for our kids, right?
Scott Gordon has not been able to see his daughter Chloe swim in a pool for 2 years. Today, it was not just his daughter smiling ear to ear, but also himself.
These kids deserve to be able to enjoy the pool like the other kids do.
Gordon is the brains behind today's sensory-friendly swim program, a private pool time for swimmers of all ages with sensory sensitivities. Sarah Jackson was thrilled to hear about the program. She says initiatives like this mean a lot to special needs families like hers.
We came today because it's a little overwhelming when you take your special needs kiddo to a public pool. Lots of loud sounds and kids jumping in, and so this program is amazing.
Throughout the 45-minute period, swimmers enjoyed easy entry, slides, and play structures. For Gordon, it is exciting to see how this program might evolve in the future.
And hopefully it keeps growing and we're able to get this at other pools.
The sensory-friendly swim program is going to be running here at the A.M. Cannon Aquatic Center for the next 3 weeks. Now, if you are still interested in signing up, you can find more information on how to do so on our website, kxly.com. Reporting in Spokane, Alexandra Cohen-Yarts, 4 News Now.
Highlight of the summer when it gets warm back out.
Great. Spokane boasts the only pediatric transitional care facility for babies born addicted to drugs. Next, we'll show you why Maddie's Place could be a stepping stone for drug treatment facilities nationwide.
And strike up the band. The University of Idaho Vandals filled a void during this year's NCAA championship. We'll show you how the Sound of Idaho helped inspire an Ivy League basketball team to give it their all.
With prices of natural gas and propane skyrocketing, your heating bill is getting out of control. But before you turn down the heat, give the experts at Bill's Heating and Air a call. They have the latest in dual fuel technology to keep your family comfortable and the utility bills low. There has never been a better time to upgrade because now every furnace purchase comes with a free heat pump. So call Bill's Heating today to get your free heat pump while supplies last.
Drugs don't only impact the person who is using. It affects the community, families, and for some women who get pregnant while using, their baby could be born with drugs in their system. There is a place here doing innovative work with babies withdrawing from drugs and their mothers. That work could impact not just Spokane and the state, but the whole country and beyond.
Hi, handsome. This is 4-month-old Zachariah. From all appearances, a perfect baby boy. What you can't see is the battle he's facing inside. Zachariah was born with drugs in his system. His mom, Mary, was a drug user for 7 years.
Fentanyl and meth.
She was using until she found out she was a couple of months pregnant. Mary checked herself into a drug rehab in Seattle and got on methadone to help her get clean. But methadone is also a narcotic, and that drug was being passed on to Zachariah.
So he had to stay in the NICU for like a month and a half.
When Zachariah was released from Sacred Heart's neonatal intensive care, he came here to Maddie's place, which also took in Mary to keep mom and baby connected. Bonding within the first 90 days is one of the first struggles these drug-affected babies often face. What's uncertain is what happens later in life. These kids often face learning, behavioral, and mental health challenges. Intervention now could change the course of their entire life.
Our mission is to provide nurturing, medical care, non-medical care, and support to drug-dependent infants and their mothers.
Sean Cross is the president and CEO of Maddie's Place, the only pediatric transitional care facility on the West Coast, and only one of 4 like it in the entire country. The focus here is non-pharmaceutical. These babies are cared for, as you can see, in a quiet, low-stimulus setting. Caregivers like Taylor provide a number of different comforting methods, including frequent carrying, holding, and careful feeding.
What we find here is most likely going to be quite innovative.
Professor and Executive Vice Chancellor at WSU Health Sciences, Celestina Barbosa-Leiker, is leading a team of researchers with a deep bench of expertise. The team will study the health outcomes at Maddie's Place under a state pilot program.
This study has the potential to impact how services are being given to moms and babies with neonatal abstinence syndrome, not just here in Spokane County, across the state of Washington and nationwide as well.
While the research will tell healthcare providers a lot about drug-exposed babies in Spokane County, including just how many there are, it'll track the methods at work at Maddie's Place and could ultimately affect how that work is paid for. Right now, private insurance does not cover patients here. Cross wants the study to be a launch pad for Medicaid to pay for programs like Maddie's Place, which could fund more facilities and work like this around the country.
There you go.
Well, we know the band is a major hype factor when it comes to college sports. When Yale came to Spokane this year for the NCAA tournament, the Bulldogs band couldn't make it. The University of Idaho then stepped in. Jordan Smith has the story.
Well, Yale's marching band was unable to travel with their squad here to Spokane, but then U of I's band heard about that, learned the fight song, got on a bus, and is here in Spokane to represent the Yale Bulldogs. Are you guys ready for March Madness? Let's get it!
The Bulldogs band sounds and looks a little different today.
We got a call from our athletics department on Sunday saying, hey, Yale's band couldn't make it. With the University of Idaho Vandal band like to step in, and it just worked out where we could come up and play.
The Sound of Idaho got to work, quickly learning the Yale fight song ahead of their battle with Auburn today.
We got the music this morning, so we learned it, and I think we sound pretty good.
They loaded up on the bus and hit the road, gearing up for one of the biggest venues in college sports.
It's a cool opportunity, and it's cool that we were chosen out of all the other bands in the Pacific Northwest. And it's always cool helping out another school.
The Vandals even looked the part today, trading their Vandal gold for Yale blue. But there were subtle cameos of Vandal pride today.
We're sneakily representing U of I, though we're here to help our friends from Yale, but we might write a few new lyrics to the Vandal fight song.
Because of NCAA regulations, I couldn't film the band inside the arena. So they gave me a sneak peek of what the fans could expect.
Y-A-L-E, Yale, Bulldogs, Bulldogs, arf, arf, arf.
Masking the Vandal fight song with some Bulldog pride. Another illustration of what makes March Madness so special. In Spokane, Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
Such a fun story.
Arf, 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 arf.
Well, hey, still ahead on this special edition of 4 News Now, a former roommate of Maddie Mogen and Kaylee Gonzalez, who were both killed 2 years ago on the University of Idaho campus, wants their legacy to live on.
We will show you how she is keeping their memory alive through up-and-coming university students.
Whether planning your big day or needing a final touch, the Spokane Wedding Expo is for you. Experience firsthand all the aspects of a great wedding. Food, fashion, photography, flowers, and music, all in one place. For tickets, visit SpokaneWeddingExpo.com.
Thank you, Spokane, for helping so many local children glow this past year. For lighting the path for our Joya families as they navigate raising a child with developmental delays and disabilities. Because of you, There's so much joy this holiday season. Words spoken, steps taken, milestones met. You bring light to Joya and those we serve.
Are you struggling to get through the day? Are you experiencing chronic pain, burning, numbness, and tingling in your hands or feet? Pay attention, because you are probably experiencing peripheral neuropathy. The most common symptoms are numbness, burning, muscle cramps, and problems with balance. Neuropathy is treatable, and our office can help. It's time to get real results. Pick up your phone and call us right now. If you're one of the first 25 callers, you'll receive a free nerve damage screening. This nerve damage screening will tell you if you're at risk for serious nerve damage and if you're qualified for our cutting-edge treatment program to stop the nerve damage. Don't wait until it's too late and your symptoms get so bad that you lose your freedom and are restricted to a wheelchair, walker, or need amputation. Call now to be one of the first 25 callers to receive a free nerve damage screening. Hurry, call now to find out if you qualify for our free nerve damage screening and see how we can change your life. It's time to feel better. Call today.
Whether planning your big day or needing a final touch, the Spokane Wedding Expo is for you. Experience firsthand all the aspects of a great wedding. Food, fashion, photography, flowers, and music, all in one place. For tickets, visit SpokaneWeddingExpo.com.
A young woman who once lived with Madison Mogen and Kaylee Goncalves is sharing a promise to her roommates who were murdered in their Moscow home 2 years ago. She says it's taken time to process her grief after her friends were killed.
With the help of her mom, she's building a foundation to promote safety for college students. Here's Hunter Bertram's exclusive interview.
An infectious smile, cheek to cheek. That's Kaylee Goncalves. Madison Mogen, a friend you'd hope to meet.
You know, Maddie and Kaylee were so close that they were more like sisters.
Inseparable sisters, even in their final moments. Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Kaylee Goncalves, and Madison Mogen. The names of 4 college students stabbed to death in Moscow, Idaho. But before the unthinkable shook this college town, 6 University of Idaho students moved into their first off-campus home, including Ashlyn Couch.
I mean, it's such an exciting time in your life because you're moving out and you're actually in just like a home by yourself. And one thing is that we were all so close.
This is the first time Ashlyn has agreed to an on-camera interview since her former roommates were murdered on King Road. Ashlyn Couch lived at the house with Kaylee and Madison, 2 of the 4 students murdered in November of 2022. Ashlyn had graduated almost a year before in December of 2021.
I actually moved out May of 2022 and then Xana did take over my lease, yeah.
6 months later, she received a message, one that's burned into memory, a text from the University of Idaho alerting her of a suspected homicide on King Road.
I remember, I think, getting a second alert, or I had been driving home and I texted like our group of friends and I just had said, has anyone heard from Maddie? And I remember like my last text message to her was like, are you okay? And I feel like right then and there I kind of just knew that something was wrong.
The reality still haunts her. A gruesome tragedy took place in the house she called home, in her old room, and she could have been there. Her name was still on the lease of 1122 King Road.
It crosses my mind more that that could have happened while I was there. And you know, you never know like how long someone is watching your house.
The vibrant, once full of life house, gone.
Yeah, our life's been a little more quiet.
Sorry.
It's taken time for this mom and daughter to process their grief.
They say that time heals all wounds, but that is not true.
More than a year after their deaths, they are making a promise to the roommates taken too soon.
I want to do more. I want to, you know, spread some kind of message and start something, help people, you know, just do something more with this life that we are grateful to still be living.
Ashlyn plans to raise awareness through the Made with Kindness Foundation about what happened and educate students on social media safety. The goal is to impact every student worldwide and to be cautious, even when college can seem so carefree.
Horrible people are going to do what they're going to do. It's not anything that they could have done, and they absolutely did nothing wrong. Have people look at this and look at their name too in a positive light.
Forever and always, Maddie and Kaylee will be with Ashlyn, spreading kindness through her beating heart as Ashlyn keeps her promise and new life mission to keep this from happening again.
I mean, I couldn't even walk to my car in the dark for months after, you know, it happened. Like, you just want to at least feel a little bit safer. And if we can help college students do that and just create more awareness upon that and just help them feel a little bit safer knowing that something like this had happened, I think is helpful in any way.
In all, Ashlyn lost her closest friends in a home that housed her favorite memories. Yet one wish will go forever unfulfilled.
You wish that you could just say goodbye, and that's one thing that I just wish that I could do at least one more time, is like, you know, just give her one last hug just to be able to say goodbye.
A group of volunteers is working to restore the community feel in Elk after so many lost their homes to the wildfire. Next, how they are bringing neighbors together by firing up their oven.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models. That's over $6,400 total value. Plus, no monthly payments until next year.
ShopDaveSmith.com.
For memories you can't make online.
Experience the magic of the holidays at River Park Square.
At Jewelry Design Center, we want to be your jeweler for life. We are locally owned and the largest jewelry store in the region, offering you a showroom filled with world-famous brands and designers. We are a team of artists, craftsmen, and professionals who create exclusive designs and one-of-a-kind pieces. Take time to think it over, but we are not your average jewelry store. From our hands to your heart, we are Jewelry Design Center, and we want to be your jeweler for life.
It's been more than a year since our neighbors in Medical Lake and Elk lost their homes to devastating wildfires. Some are rebuilding, but many have had to move or are confined to campers or fifth wheels.
One food pantry in Elk is working to bring some hot meals to the area to help build back the community. Marissa Rio visited with those volunteers this spring.
The North County Food Pantry serves hundreds of low-income families here in the Elk area, but they wanted to extend that helping hand even further. Now volunteers cook in this kitchen here to serve 16 families in RVs who lost their home in the Oregon Road fire every Tuesday and Thursday evening. As Annie Patrick walks into the RV she now calls home, she remembers when she saw that her house had burned in the fire.
Shock that it really did go, it really did burn, and all the things that you treasure and save all your life to pass on to your kids.
It's all of those other little things that don't feel so little anymore that she also misses. Annie lost all her kitchen utensils, her favorite knife set.
Well, I don't have an oven, so I can't bake anything anymore. It's been an adjustment learning new lifestyles.
An oven, something many of us take for granted. Annie is exactly why the North County Food Pantry is providing hot meals to families in the burn areas.
Mostly because a lot of them are limited on how much electricity they have available to them. And it's hard to cook a full meal, as you can imagine, in a recreational vehicle. You also don't have food storage.
The service is made to help make the lives of Oregon Road fire survivors a little bit easier. And Annie says the service is more than just a nice meal.
And they do it with a generous, heart-given, love-given spirit, and you feel good going there. You know, you feel loved, you feel like you're part of the group, and not just all by yourself out in the woods.
Sandy with the food pantry stresses that they are in need of donations to help more families just like Annie. For information on how you can help make a difference, visit our website at KXLY.com. Reporting in Elk, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
So many wonderful stories and so many more to tell.
Absolutely.
And that does it for this special edition of 4 News Now, a year in review.
Thanks so much for joining us to look back at the most memorable stories of the year. We hope you and your loved ones have a safe and happy holiday season.